telling you about what's been happening in Memphis. There's been a lot of focus and targeting of the Elon Musk, his xAI, and the turbines there, and the impact it is having on residents, Black residents there in Memphis. You've had city leaders and others who have allowed them to operate with impunity, not really holding them accountable. But now the EPA has issued a ruling. State Representative Justin Pearson joins us right now. Glad to have you back on the show. So take us through what action has the EPA, what have they actually said about these turbines?
Yeah, the EPA affirmed what our community has said from the beginning, that Elon Musk and xAI were illegally operating gas turbines without a permit. They built a power plant and didn't go to the health department or any other agency asking for a permit to do so. And they polluted the air of our community more than the international airport. We're talking about thousands of tons of nitrogen oxides, 17.2 tons of formaldehyde sprayed into the air of this community. And there was no way for us to stop them because the mayor of our city and our county supported this. The health department supported this, and the Chamber of Commerce, the Memphis Chamber of Commerce, led by Ted Townsend and Bobby White, were all supportive. And so it's very strange that Trump's EPA was the one to actually say the people in Boxtown, the people in Westwood, the people in my district, and District 86 were actually on the right side of this. And Elon Musk and a lot of the Democratic institutions, lowercase d, that were supposed to protect our community, that were supposed to prevent this from happening, failed us.
All right, so what next? I mean, that is huge that Trump's EPA, I mean, listen, they kissed the ass of companies left and right that they would actually issue this kind of ruling.
Yeah, I mean, it affirms what the Clean Air Act has been saying the whole time. And what we were telling people was, look, they're asking whether or not there is an exemption. And if they're asking about it, that means currently there isn't one. And so anything that this company was saying about how they needed to have an exemption or have a year to be able to pollute as much as they want was completely false and was completely wrong. And so it affirms that the Clean Air Act is still the federal law of the land and it needs to be followed. And the reality is we're actually in a fight now because they took these same gas turbines, moved them to South Haven, which is just across the border, and they're now illegally operating them in South Haven. But as you know, when it comes to environmental justice, the communities that are most impacted are Black communities, Latino communities, poor communities, even poor white communities. And South Haven, Mississippi is the only county in the entire state that has an F in air quality. And so this is perpetuating harm that already existed before xAI. And we have a hearing on February 17th, which we're sending a lot of people to speak up about this because the air don't care if it's in Mississippi or if it's in Memphis. We share the air and the consequences are going to fall disproportionately on people who have COPD, disproportionately have asthma, disproportionately already have lung ailments, which is historically communities that have been polluted like our district right here in Memphis, especially in Southwest Memphis. And so it's going to be an organizing tool for us, but it's also for communities across the country that are fighting these data centers. They can't illegally pollute our neighborhoods. They have to go through permit processes, which allow for us to be able to have a say about what they are doing. These billionaire games can't continue to destroy our communities on the backs of poor folk.
So has the city responded? Has the county responded to this EPA ruling, affirming what you and others have been saying?
They are as quiet as they have ever been. I mean, the mayor, he put out a op-ed calling our community liars. Now he has nothing to say. The other mayor went in front of the TV, said he had no concerns. Now he has nothing to say. The Shelby County Health Department won't even apologize to the community for allowing this illegal polluting to happen. The company itself, xAI, which had op-eds and sent all these mailers calling our communities liars and sending out this propaganda from the Chamber of Commerce. None of them have said anything about the affirmation of what our community knew to be right the entire time. And so folks at Memphis Community Against Pollution, Young, Gifted, and Green, Southern Environmental Law Center, NAACP, while we are celebrating the truth, it is really painful to see those who were against the community being completely and utterly silent after attacking us for over a year about our stance on this.
This is a CNBC article. It said the EPA's updated rule clarifies that those kinds of turbines can't be designated as non-road engines, and companies must also obtain Clean Air Act permits before installing them, particularly if their aggregate emissions will go above major source thresholds of pollutions. And it says right here, the Shelby County Health Department in Memphis previously allowed xAI to designate its turbines as non-road engines and to start using them without any public comment and environmental impact review, as would have been required in a standard permitting process. The whole point of the city and the county is to protect the residents. These are the people. So I would hope, first of all, you got some elections coming up there. I would hope this is going to be an issue at the ballot box for the folk who don't give a damn about the air quality of the residents.
Absolutely. And we got these elections coming up here in May, on May 5th. And before that, for early voting for a new county mayor, for folks on the county commission. And next year, we're going to have city council elections and a new city mayor election, because we have a responsibility as elected officials to protect our citizens, to protect our communities. That's the job. You swear your hand on a Bible or the Quran or whatever it is, and you swear an oath to protect our communities. And instead, a billionaire and $1 billion corporation was protected more than people who have a cancer risk that's 4 times the national average, people who are dealing with 18 toxic release inventory facilities surrounding our community already, who have historically been marginalized and historically been mistreated. And the people in power perpetuated the harm. And it took this EPA to say, you know what, they were right the entire time. And now those same folks who push this narrative, same folks who push this propaganda, who have all these fancy titles, they're now silent. And so they're going to perpetuate this harm, pretending like our community wasn't right. This isn't how it's supposed to be, which is why we have to get new people in power who are going to hold them accountable. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
All right, State Rep. Justin Pearson, we sure appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate you too.